All right. All right. I need a second. Good evening and good morning to those of you that are out of the country. You know the drill. If you are tuned in, let me see your city and state. If you're from America or your country, if you're not from America, let me know where you're tuned in. Let's do a quick rundown tonight. Hey, Sharice. So good to see you, Sharice. You're doing well. One of my awesome clients. Very awesome. Where we in from tonight? Dallas. Good. St. Louis. Hey, April. What's up? Dallas again. Atlanta, Baltimore, DC, of course. My one of my favorite places, the Bronx, Detroit, RVA. All right, Maryland. Jesus Sandals from Maryland, DC again. Thank you so much, Maryland. Wow, DNV is heavy tonight. North Carolina, New Orleans, Alberta, Canada. Thank you so much, Charlotte. I am good. I'm exhausted. I'll talk about that in a second. It's been a wild couple of weeks, but an amazing couple of weeks. Trenton, New Jersey, San Francisco, California, Florida, Virginia, Corona, California, Colton, California. Wow. Holloman Air Base, New Mexico. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service. Is that the Rosie I know? Is that my client, Rosie? Let me know. South River, Brooklyn, Boise, Boston, Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale. This has been a very long week. Thank you so much, NM Purpose. I appreciate that. I'm exhausted. I don't look like what I've been through. That was so deep. Oh my God, that was so deep. Florida, Chesapeake. Hey, Rosie, I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Let's please connect again soon. The link hasn't changed. The client link hasn't changed. So good to see you. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Chesapeake, thank you so much. San Diego, wow. Good. Y'all do me a favor, start liking the video and sharing the video. Let's get the numbers up tonight. If you enjoyed last week, hey, Ebony, if you enjoyed last week, you're going to enjoy this week. I'm talking about the ego tonight, and I'm really going to teach this. So get something to write with, get your journals. This is going to be good. Fort Lauderdale, Omaha, Nebraska, Dallas. I got a lot of things to share tonight. Detroit, Pennsylvania. God is still coming. They're still rolling in. Houston, thank you so much. DC again. Wow, the shy. All right. Appreciate you. Chicago, Atlanta, Philly. Good. Dallas again, Massachusetts. All right. Get your journals. I got a couple of announcements real quick. And I'm excited to be here. I'm exhausted. I won't lie. It's been a very busy 2 weeks, but very productive. And so you probably heard the news about the new book. New book came out yesterday. Thank you so much for pre-ordering. The pre-orders are almost gone. And it is an insane amount of orders that have come in. So insane that it crashed my system. It literally crashed my dashboard and had my dashboard sending out false confirmation emails. It was just wild. So I'm almost out of pre-orders. I'll be shocked if they last until Wednesday, or the pre-orders are still available through Wednesday. So go ahead and grab one of those copies. And I got word today from the publisher that I think it's going to actually come in about a week sooner than what I thought. So grab your pre-order if you haven't already. Really appreciate you supporting that. Now, listen to me. All of you said last week, because Doc, if you can look at Doc and look really closely, you can see some bags on his eyes. Doc ain't had a lot of sleep. He's tried to grab sleep when he can, but it's just been a wild couple of days. Last week, you all asked me to create something for the value system. Remember, we talked about the triangle of trust for you overthinkers, and I think many of you got a lot out of that, the triangle of trust. And many of you, as we talked about the value system, and really a lot of your ability to trust in the decisions that you make being connected to the values you've established. Good. Yep, we live. Very good. Thanks, Coach. Talking about the values that we've established, being the roadmap to how we make decisions. And you all said, Doc, we need a workbook. We need that in an ebook. Guess what? 2 drops in 1 week. You go to my link tree, click on the links on any of my profiles today, literally 30 minutes ago, I dropped the value system ebook, and the cost, I'm ashamed. I ought to go and flip the numbers. I ought to go and flip the numbers. The value system ebook. That means, folks, 2 books in 1 week. And get this, it ain't but 15 pages. In 1 hour, you'll understand the value system. You have the format to do it. You can take that, you can duplicate it, and every time you need to set your values, do it. Listen, click on the link in my profile bio and download my second book in 1 week. That's book number 5, the value system ebook. I have been rolling. It is in workbook format. It is in workbook format, and you literally can get through it in an hour, walk through it. It's going to take you about 30 days to go through the system. You'll understand that as you go through the steps. It's downloadable in PDF format. The link is in my profile bio. So on all of my networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, it's right there. Just click on the value system. It might be the first thing that I put up there. In fact, I need to switch that around. Let me switch that around. It's probably the second thing on the list now, right behind the 5 areas of healing. Go ahead and click on that. Get your ebook. And that value system is one of the most powerful systems I've created that a lot of my clients are very familiar with. So my clients have gone through it. They'll know it when they see it, if they download it. But those of you that have never worked with me, that are at a crossroads of really trying to make some critical decisions in your life, the value system workshop or workbook ebook is going to be powerful for you. All right. So check it out. I'm exhausted, but I promised y'all I would deliver by this Thursday, and I did. So thank you so much. because I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I can't wait to get a couple of days. Um, I can't wait to just get a couple of days to just rest, and that's the plan. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Sean. He's really been doing some great work for me in this social media space, and really, 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 really appreciate him. No, I'm not. And so I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Now, a few more other quick announcements. I'll save more for the end. You know about the 5 areas of healing. It was supposed to be released today. I beat that by a day yesterday. So that's up. Get your copy of that. The value system ebook just released just now, literally. And so it's powerful, it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's dirt cheap. I hope that's a blessing to someone. My client calendar will open for new clients next Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Noon Eastern Standard Time, my client calendar is going to open up for new clients. If you are a current client, I would highly advise that you use your recurring client link to go ahead and set some time up if you want to, if you haven't already scheduled into 2025. A few of my clients absolutely have. And if you have not, make sure you do that right away. Khalees is saying she doesn't see it. You guys don't see that on my link tree? Hold on, I can check. It should be on my link tree. It should be the second link. Do you guys see it? Let me know. The value ebook is the second link on my link tree. If you just go to my profile bio, it's up there. Tiffany, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Tiff. The link is above. Good. And let me do this. Wow, I could just drop it in the comments. I'm still eating off of last week. I appreciate you. Yeah, let me do that. I'll drop it in the comments too, but it is also on my page. Let's see if I can drop it down there. I might be able to do that. Good. It is there. It is there. You'll probably have to click out of the live to do it, to get it. TikTok, they won't allow me to do, what did I just do on Instagram? I don't know what I just did on Instagram. I think I just messed something up on Instagram. I don't know what I did on Instagram. Can y'all see me? Because the screen is brown. I don't know what's going on. It's there? Good. All right, it's there. I don't know. I just did something on Instagram. Instagram, can y'all see me? Yes, you can. So why is my screen dark? Yes. What did I do? Ain't no telling. It really ain't no telling. I'm tired, y'all. So we're gonna get it together. Just give me some grace. Yes, we see you. Yes. I don't know what's up. Like, you guys are grayed out Instagram, but it looks like Facebook is good there. All right, good. It's in the chat. Very good. All right. So I'll do more announcements at the end. I've got quite a few things to share, but I wanted to just mention those things quickly. I'll continue to refresh that. Ask the moderators to continue to refresh the link if you can, because I'm having some technical challenges here for whatever reason. So just refresh the link. And yes, it's a blurred image behind you. I don't know. Yeah, the blurred image is because of the landscape, but my whole screen is blurry, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Moderators, if you will just refresh the link. We thank you, April, for dropping it in TikTok, and just refresh it occasionally so people can see it, because I want to get into this content tonight, and we'll talk more about some other things, the tour, some other things that I've got coming on later. Grab your journals. Tonight, we're talking about the topic, or from the topic, your ego is destroying your life. I want you to put it in the comments. Your ego is destroying your life is what we're talking about. And this is going to be solid. And I want you to get your journals. Now, we already know the ground rules here for our community. Try to be very respectful of all of the comments and remarks that other people are trying to leave, but every now and then we catch a few strays. Lord, I don't know what's going on social media. I'm convinced that the world is just mentally ill, and it has less to do with the need to be on medicine and just more to do with just the need of being silly, or just being silly. It's just wild out here, to be honest with you. And so you might get a troll every now and then that pops up in the comment section. And if you do, you might start to see a few eagles dropping in the comments. That simply means we fly high above birds. So we do not allow that stuff in this section or in our sessions. And so I want to thank our moderators again for all of the great work that they do monitoring that so I can focus on what we're doing. All right. And of course, support the show. You'll see the ways to support the show as well on the screen. Hey, Ash. You'll see the ways to support. And I want you to do that. And the moderators will continue to remind you to do that as well. Let's talk about it. Your ego is destroying your life. And I want to deal with the ego. And I want to talk about the ego because it's important that we recognize how this little three-letter word impacts our entire life. And before we get into that, and before I explain what the ego is, because you've heard me define it a few times before, before I explain what it is, I want to say this. None of this is really possible without self-awareness. None of it. None of this is really possible at all without self-awareness. And so tonight's going to be hard for you if you cannot be honest about yourself and how you're showing up in these spaces. And many people are struggling to be honest. And frankly, they're struggling to be honest, if I'm being honest, no pun intended, because they cannot separate who they are from the idea of who they want to be. They cannot separate who they are from this idea of who they want to be. And this is interesting to me because you're not going to do this ego work tonight. This work that I'm about to have you do. If you got some paper, you're recording notes already. You're not going to be able to do this work tonight if you're not being honest about who you are versus who you really want to be, because they ain't always the same. Oh my God. They're not always the same. And so if you're not going to be able to differentiate between who you desire to be and who you really are, you're going to struggle with tonight. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being aspirational, but being aspirational ain't going to heal you. Being honest is what's going to heal you. It's honesty that brings you to a place of healing. And I talk about this very intently in the book. I don't even get into the 5 areas without just being very candid in the beginning. If you're not going to be honest, put the book down. It ain't going to help you. You wasted your time and your money. Everything, the core of your real growth has to start with self-awareness. It has to start there. Now, get your paper. Let's roll. We're moving tonight. I don't know how long I'll be. I'm going to try to not to have you very long tonight. I'm very tired. I've got a very relaxing weekend ahead, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, get your paper. This is what I want you to do. I want you, here I am trying to find somewhere to draw again. Get your paper, and I want you to get it portrait style. All right, set it portrait style. And I want you to draw. Make sure I don't make a mess over here. Good. I want you to draw a huge T, the size of the whole paper. Y'all don't evaluate me on my drawing skills. That's not what I've been called to do. I can't draw. All right. But I want you to create a huge T just like this. We're going to talk about ego tonight. And I want to talk about ego because the reality is many of you are struggling with ego. Go ahead and set up this T. And then I want you to put another line under that top T so that you, in essence, have a row. Okay? Again, I'm not an artist. All right? So that you, in essence, have a row. Like the video, share the video. Wow. TikTok, we're already up to 12.3K. I appreciate you. Y'all like this video. Don't just jump in it without liking it. And obviously, I want you to support the show. Okay? Now, go back to your journal. Go back to where you're writing, where you're recording notes, and I want you to write the definition of ego down. What's the definition of ego? The ego is the part of your brain that is more concerned about your past and more concerned about the future.
Your ego is the part of your brain that is more concerned about your past and more concerned about your future. Your ego is the part of your brain that is more concerned about the past and more concerned about the future. It does not rest in the present. Okay? It is the part of your brain that is concerned about the past and worried about the future. So anytime your mind is ruminating over thoughts regarding the past or the future, you are operating in ego. Okay? Anytime you are spending significant amounts of time ruminating with your thoughts in the past, events that have occurred in the past, or with concerns about what might happen tomorrow, you are operating in ego. Okay? Your ego is leading your life. Your ego is leading your focus. Your ego is leading your perspective. I don't see a lot of notes. I'm assuming you guys are writing. If you are, give me a thumbs up so I know you're writing. I don't see a lot of notes. The room is starting to fill up really good. We're right under on all 4 networks. We're right under 400. The room's starting to fill up. Let's get it up to 8. If you're writing, just say yes. Give me a thumbs up. I want to just make sure. Good. All right. I'm not going to fuss at y'all for not doing notes. I'm assuming you're writing. I want to make sure you're there. I don't like PowerPoints. I like for people to listen to me. All right. And write. Now, the ego is the part of your brain that's concerned about the past and worried about the future. Why is this important? This is important because this is a reminder that we ultimately are disconnected from the most important part of us when we are operating in ego. And the most important part of us that is the enemy of the ego is the soul. I want you to write that down. The enemy of the ego is the soul. S-O-U-L. This is going to be heavy tonight because we're going to dive into some spiritual stuff tonight. The enemy of the ego is your soul. Your soul is the innermost part of your being that has one desire. You ready? Your soul has one desire, and that is to live in the present. Your soul has one desire: to live in the present. That's it. Now, if you embrace what I'm saying to you tonight, you're going to be in a position where you never allow, with work, discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition, you're going to position yourself to be able to never allow ruminating thoughts or any types of thoughts that control you regarding the past or the future to no longer control you, because your focus will begin to shift to where it needs to be. And that is the present moment. The reason why the soul is the enemy to the ego is because when you tap into the present, your focus is no longer behind you or what's in front of you. So you're then able to show up in every space. How? As the best version of you. You show up in every space as the best version of you, not looking backwards, not focusing forward, but focusing on what's before you. If you really think about this, if we really think about this and put some legs behind this, most of your anxiety, Doc, you got clients, Doc, I brag on this. I don't care. Other, counselors, therapists, coaches, other coaches get mad about it. I don't care. I brag about a lot of my clients come to me on meds for anxiety, all things, and by the time I'm done with them, they ain't on meds. And some people think that's brag, and I don't. I think our culture in general is overdiagnosed. I think our culture in general is over-medicated. I just do. Nobody has to agree with that. I don't care. I'm not asking for your agreement. And I prove this through my work. And one of the things that helps to get them there is recognizing the power of the soul, which is the part of you that wants to live right now. Because let's face it, if you're on this live and you're only focusing on this live, it's kind of hard to focus on this live and think about your breakup at the same time. Oh my God. If you allow your soul to cause you to focus on this live, it's hard to focus on this live and worry about how your family gonna act next week at Thanksgiving. Oh my God. Now think about this. You think on average 80,000 thoughts per day. On average. Take a person who has anxiety about the past or worried about the future, and you can add easily an additional 10 to 20,000 thoughts that you will think a day just as a result of overthinking. Because your ego, part of your brain that loves the past, worries about the future, is going to add more thoughts naturally because of where it resides. Watch this. But when you live in the present, you're not adding additional thoughts. What you're doing is you're managing the thoughts that are before you. Listen to me. You're managing the thoughts that are before you when you operate in the present. LaTanya on TikTok saying, yeah, mine is closer to 160,000 thoughts. That's very possible. This is why I'm convinced a lot of people, this stuff that we're calling anxiety is really the ego gone wild. A lot of this stuff we're calling anxiety is ego gone wild. Why? Because if you think about where most of your anxiety comes from, it comes from being stuck about events based on yesterday and worried about what might happen tomorrow. I like that. Juan said something powerful. Thank you, Juan Wall. Something powerful. He said something powerful. A lot of our culture seeks to be diagnosed because we don't want to get through hard times, challenging times. And y'all, I hate to say this. Oh, I know all of you easily triggered people are going to hate what I'm about to say. Go ahead and block me even though I don't follow you. You're going to hate what I'm about to say, but you ready? Because we have not learned how to manage our ego, the part of our brain that's concerned about the past and worried about the future, it has generally made us a softer, weaker generation of people. Oh my God. We are, generally speaking, a weaker culture because we have not learned how to manage the thoughts regarding the past and our concerns about the future. Let me tell you something that's hurting this. Let me just go ahead and swing real quick while I got your attention. You want to know what else is hurting your ability to live in the present? I can give you a list of things. You want a list of things that's hurting your ability to stay in the present? Technology is one of them. Some of you would be shocked if you just took 2 weeks off social media, how your ego would start to tame down slowly. Because a lot of these thoughts about the past and worries about the future is based on you looking at stories and posts that have absolutely nothing to do with the purpose on your life. And if you have not managed your thoughts and you're paying more attention to what everybody else is doing, social media absolutely increases the amount of thoughts you think per day, which in turn takes your anxiety and sends it through the roof. Social media will have you comparing your life against people who are online faking what they post. Oh my God. A whole lot of people talking about working, a whole lot of us actually working. You're comparing your life to a fantasy world that somebody has put up with a bunch of filters that ain't even real. This is why, if you're having a hard time controlling your thoughts, I'm talking to those of you that have ego problems. There's a lot of people on this call. If you have ego problems, Doc, how do I know I have an ego problem? If your thoughts, majority of the time, are stuck in the past or worried about the future, you have an ego problem. If I'm talking to you I dare you take at least a week. Just take a week, shut all that stuff down, and spend that social media time doing something else. You'd be shocked. You'll come back. You'll be less concerned about what people posting. I told somebody last week, and this is the truth. I love y'all, but if it were not for my work, I know I wouldn't be on social media as much as I am. I do this for y'all. I'm an introvert for real. If you know me, you know I don't be all out there in the mix. You get around me, you're going to be shocked at how quiet I am. I'm a real deal introvert. I do this stuff because I'm called to do it. Some of y'all do this stuff, and all you're doing is driving your anxiety through the roof, comparing yourself to people who faking like they got it and really don't. So technology impacts our ability to stay in the present. And when I say technology, I'm not just talking about social media. I'm also talking about your cell phone. Here's a recommendation. This is going to sound hard for some of you. For all of you that use your phone as an alarm clock, you should consider going and buying an old-fashioned alarm clock so that you don't have to grab your phone the first thing in the morning. I'm especially, now, if you ain't got no problems with the ego, continue to use your phone. I use my phone as my alarm, but I literally cut it off and I don't see my phone again for 2.5 hours. And I wake up at 4:03 Monday through Friday. So my alarm goes off, I hit stop, I get up, I pray, I use the restroom, I come downstairs, I hop on my Peloton, I do my weights, I meditate for 30 minutes, I make my kids lunch, I take a cold shower, my kids get up, and then when I come downstairs, right around 6:50, 6:55, I look at my phone. Some of y'all, when your alarm goes off, you hit stop and you go right to Instagram. Oh my God! You hit stop and you go right to Facebook. Or you got a busy work schedule like I do, you go right to your email. Gotta have better discipline than that. This requires discipline, commitment, consistency, repetition. You checking your text messages. I don't see my text until about 7 o'clock. If you don't believe me, ask anybody that's got my number that texts me late at night. By the way, my phone is on Do Not Disturb automatically. Boy, that was the best thing that I was taught to do. When I started doing that, woo. So if you text me after 8 o'clock every night, I don't see your messages until 7 something at least. Sometimes it's 8, depending on what I got going on, like the last 3 weeks. I've been busy. And this is why Doc don't have an ego problem. I can lock in the present. I had a lot going on the last 3 weeks. Y'all didn't see me on here panicking, did you? When you can lock into the present and control your ego, it allows you to create the best version of you. Now, go back to your diagram. Go back to your diagram and let's walk through something. I got to give you 2 terms that I want you to define. All right, you should have a T that looks like this. Okay, on the left side, I want you to write the words, no, at the top, centered, write that 3-letter word, ego. Okay, write that 3-letter word, ego, top center. All right, y'all have y'all supported the show? You already know the drill. You're getting another session tonight. Y'all don't support the show, I'm not leaving it up. You did an okay job supporting last week. I really appreciate it. Support the show. Don't forget, check out the values workbook and get your copy of 5 Areas of Healing. Those pre-orders are gone. They are gone until January. All right, I want you to write in the top, ego. Now, on the left side, I want you to write the word or the words small self. You should write the word small self. And on the right side, I want you to write the words big self. This is going to make sense in a second. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler. Small self on the left, big self on the right. Okay? Small self on the left, big self on the right. Okay? Now, let me talk about what the small self is and what the big self is. I want to explain this. This is going to be game changing. Okay? This is going to be game changing. I want to talk about the differences between the small self and the big self. Because if you think about who you are as a person and think about who you represent, this is going to make a lot of sense. The small self, or what we could call the little you, right? If that word makes it feel better to you, use that. My notes are all over the place, y'all. I'm sorry. The small self, or the little you, I want you to record this, is the part of you that is volatile. I'm going to explain this. This is going to make so much sense. The small self, or the little you, is the part of you that is volatile. V-O-L-A-T-I-L-E. Volatile. What does that mean? Shaky, unpredictable, cringy, on the edge. The little you is the part of you that is volatile. I want you to write that word under small self. It is the first word I want you to write. Let me make sure I spell it right. That will be embarrassing. Y'all wouldn't let me live this down. It is the part of you that is volatile. Okay? And just put like 2 stars around it. Like this. There's a reason why I'm teaching it like this. Just bear with me. The little you, or your small self, is the part of you that's volatile. What's included in that? Let me give you a list of things. This is where your personality, this is where your emotions, and this is where your feelings live. So, the small self, this is where your personality, your emotions, and your feelings live. Y'all see that? I want you to put 3 dashes there recorded. I don't see a lot of notes. Y'all are clearly writing. Thank you, moderators. Y'all are staying on it. I know I'm throwing a lot out there. Support the show. This is a good show. The small self is volatile because that is where your personality, where your emotions, and where your feelings live. Let me tell you something. The reason why your small self includes your personality, emotions, and feelings is because your personality, emotions, and feelings, if they ever guide the way you live, you will never live a healed and whole life. Oh my God! You can't be guided by your personality, emotions, and feelings and be big. Uh-oh. 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 I didn't say you could not have a personality, emotions, and feelings. I didn't say you couldn't have it. But what I am saying to you is that if you live your life and these things guide you, you will always be small. Well, Doc, I'm just going to go with how I feel. I just feel. You'll always live a small life. Just imagine me standing up and doing my hand like this to the ground. When my son hits a bucket and he drives on somebody and crosses somebody, he runs down the court and goes down to the ground and does his hand like this. You know why? Because you little. And when you allow your personality, your emotions, and your feelings to lead your life, you're living a small life. And many of you, your ego is wild because you're literally allowing your small self to run your entire life. I'm just letting this soak in. Are y'all writing? Are y'all supporting? You see that? All of this stuff, y'all, your personality, your emotions, your feelings, all of this stuff makes you volatile. You know why? Because these things are uncontrollable when your mind is not under control. Hey, in the corner of your paper, write it down somewhere. This paper, a different paper, write down the 5 areas of healing. You should do this every time we do a live together. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Yes, the order matters. Mental, emotional, physical, financial. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. I want you to write those 5 areas of healing down. Why is that important? Because if your mind ain't together, your emotions ain't going to be. If your mind's not together, your emotions will not be. This is why many of you are struggling. Many of you are struggling because you're allowing your small self to get the best of you. And those thoughts we talked about earlier, your ego that loves the past and worries about the future, loves the little you. When you worried about that breakup that was 10 years ago, or that person who wants to leave and you trying to make them stay, that's the little you. That's the little you that's connected to your emotions and feelings. When people overlook you and mistreat you and mishandle you, and it causes you to respond to their treatment, your personality is in the way. That's the little you. And you become small. Just do your hand like this and act like it's close to the ground. You become small when you let the little you lead you. You put that down in your notes. You become small when you let the little you lead you. I had to remind a mentor or a mentee this week. Who was so frustrated. He's trying to get his content together. He's trying to get his stuff going. And he's frustrated because he's trying to do stuff. And then people are jumping in the comments and saying crazy stuff. And I said to him, dude, listen. When you start responding to people out of your emotions and feelings, you become as small as the people you responded to. And nothing amplifies this more than social media now. I've never in my life seen a more small culture in my life. Small culture of men, small culture of women, small culture of whatever you identify as. Everybody's small. You know why? Because everybody living right here, either in their personality, in their emotions, or in their feelings. You choose one. This is where most of society lives. And this is why most of society is struggling with things like anxiety. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Because guess what? When you allow your personality and emotions and feelings to respond to the things around you, you become a slave to your external environment. I need you to write that down. When you allow your personality, emotions, and feelings to respond to the things around you, you become a slave to your external environment. Bruh, I don't let no birds in my comments get under my skin. I laugh at stuff. Every now and then I pin them to the top just to see if y'all gonna like the comment and just put a couple of eagles under. I just be toying with people. Y'all birds. Are you kidding me? You ought to be glad you can see my page. Oh my God. And that's the attitude you ought to have. Doc, don't you think that's a little arrogant? No, it's confident. It's only arrogant to people that's sitting in coach. That's it. The only people mad are the people sitting in coach. Stop being led by your personality, emotions, and feelings. Because when you allow your personality, emotions, and feelings to respond to the things around you, you become a slave to your external environment. And guess what? People who are a slave to their external environment, guess what? They struggle with a lot of things like external validation. You ready? Let me show you how much this makes sense. If you struggle being led or having your life being led by your personality, emotions, or feelings, I can guarantee you, you have a problem with external validation. Oh my God. I want you to just pause and think about what I said. If you are one of those people that allows yourself to be led with your personality, emotions, and feelings, I can guarantee you, you're a person who struggles with external validation. Tell me I'm lying. You know why they're connected? They're connected. I like that word, Passion King. They're connected to things like performance, putting on a show, obviously validation, but in the wrong way, people pleasing. This stuff all connects. They're like first cousins, except they're a little closer than that. I was about to give a terrible analogy. I'm just not going to give that one. That would be bad. Does this make sense? That's the little self. The big you or the big self. Y'all support the show. Y'all supporting? Let me do a little chat. I don't think y'all support the show. Let's talk about the big you. No, y'all not supporting the show. Y'all, I'm not gonna put it up. That's okay. Let's talk about the big you. You ready? The big you. Why do people send invites on TikTok? Look at this. I'm sorry, y'all. I had somebody on TikTok that just kept trying to invite and be on the show, so I gave them 15 seconds. Y'all just y'all just stop. Just be on one sometimes. Anyway, the big you. See, that's called when you get into the little self. I could have gotten into my little self and got annoyed. No, I allow my big self to get in control and to take charge. Let's talk about it. Some of y'all like, what's going on? Let's talk about the big you. You ready? The big you. Oh, system messed up my notes and everything. All right. Here we are. So the little you, volatile, caught up in personality, emotions, and feelings. The big you is the part of you that is major. Hey, babe, love you. Yes, it is. Love y'all. See y'all in the morning. The big you is the part of you that's connected to something greater. You want to know what this greater thing is? Here it is. And this is going to help some of y'all, and this is going to offend some of y'all at the same time. The big you is connected to the part of you that is connected to the most underrated way to control your ego. The divine. The divine. Now, I want to be clear here. My work is not for everybody. You know why? It's a lot of reasons. Number one, I'm brutally honest. I don't care who don't like it. Number two, I get everybody. I'm not pro men like some of these other influencers y'all like that only talk about women. Y'all can stay over there. And I'm not pro women either. Because if you crazy in a woman, you crazy in a woman. I'm pro the truth. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm pro the truth. So I don't care what you like and who you are. Right is right, wrong is wrong. The other reason why they don't like me is because grounded in my work is this word called spiritual healing. And the big self is connected to the divine part of you, or the spiritual part of you. You know why that's important? Because the spiritual part of you deals in things like faith. Yep, the Bishop of Health and Wellness is here. The big part of you deals in things like faith. Why is faith important? Because guess what? There are going to be some things that happen in your life that you don't understand. And instead of letting your personality and emotions and feelings get the best of you, why don't you try tapping into faith? That somehow, some way, what I don't understand or what's going on in my life or what might happen is part of a larger plan that always works out for me. You'd be shocked that when you shift your mind like that, some of this anxiety, some of y'all got anxiety because you don't have a spiritual foundation. Oh my God. I hate to break the news to you. I love you. Even my atheist friends agree. I have friends that are atheists. So if you offended, you just mad. I have friends that are atheists, and we have these educational, very academic, high-level conversations about spirituality and personal wellness. And I love it because I'm a nerd. I can't help it. A proud one. But let me tell you something. Some of y'all struggling with anxiety because you ain't got no spiritual foundation. Oh my God. You'd be shocked at what having a spiritual foundation can fix for you. You know why? Because you're spending more time. You're spending more time worrying in your emotions, in your feelings, instead of saying, you know what? Hey, if y'all want to act like that, you can have it. I'm going to tap into my faith. It'll work out. If they want to leave, no problem. You can have it. I'm tapping into my faith and it'll work out. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Y'all, faith is the answer for the stuff you don't understand. And there is no greater space of resistance than the need to understand, which is why anytime you're dealing with things like understanding, I can't go too far because I'm going to get to that in a second. But when you're dealing with things like understanding, you are absolutely operating in your little self. This for all of you people that's got to know why everything is happening, why everything is moving, why they did this, why they want to leave, why they don't want to talk to me, why my mama let me go, why. You're operating in the little self. And sweetheart, big bro, let me help you. There comes a day where you heal and get to a place where you say, why ain't my problem? If folk don't want to be involved, that's their decision. If people don't want to stay, they're free to go. Because when you heal for real, spiritually, your need to understand is little to none at all. I tell my kids and teach my kids that their job is to solve problems in their life to the extent or as far as they can take it. When they get that far, pass it to me. I'm going to take it as far as I can. When I get as far as I can, guess what we're going to do? We ain't going to worry about it. Y'all don't even walk through them steps. When a problem comes, you're going to become Inspector Gadget and shut down your life to try to understand why. This is why some of y'all are still mourning breakups that happened 5 years ago. Oh my God. This is why some of you have anxiety about going to Thanksgiving dinner next week because of arguments that have happened with your family members years ago that you still replaying in your mind and want some closure to. Oh my God. That's why. And it's because you being small. Everybody just do your hand like this. Act like this the ground. That's what you being. Tiny Mike League. Little Boys Club. I like that. Small fries. If you're going to be a fry, at least be a large one. How you look getting that little bag of fries and it's got 10 fries in there? That's how you acting. So when we're in our big self, we're operating in faith. Let me tell you something else we operate in. This one's going to be big. Self-control. Oh, I'm just getting warmed up. Self-control. When you operating in the divine or your spiritual self, one of the fruits of your spirit will be self-control. This for all of you that snap and lose it and say, people made me do it. No, they didn't. People didn't make you do nothing. You just decided to be small when you responded. Oh my God. People didn't make you cuss them out. You decided to be small when you responded. People didn't make you cheat when they cheated. You decided to be small and cheat too. Oh my God. You decided to crash out because they crashed out. And you decided to play small. Because you lack self-control. And the reality is, you can't have a spiritual foundation without self-control. Now, I'm going to hurt some of y'all's feelings because most of you have only heard of self-control in the context of things like major things. Control your temper. Control your tongue. If you don't believe in drinking and smoking, control yourself from drinking and smoking and abstain from. You've only heard of self-control in that regard. But let me tell you something. Self-control is greater than that. Self-control is being able to exercise the discipline to stick to what you need to stick to and let go of what you need to let go of. And let me help some of y'all. I love y'all. I truly do. But your family members will have the audacity, the major audacity, to try to come for you for the things that you do in your life where you lack self-control, and they've had 4 plates in 30 minutes. Oh my God. Self-control ain't got no favorites. Self-control covers everything, including your appetite. This is why I never understood how some of you can have a spiritual compass and claim you love God so much, but you don't have enough self-control to watch what you say and what you eat. I know in spaces that I come from, it's always amazed me at how some of the best singers are also some of the biggest ones. This is going to hurt some of y'all's feelings. Doc, you fat shaming? No, I'm not. If you want to be big, knock yourself out. I don't fat shame. You can be whatever size you want to be. But let me tell you something. The same God that gives you self-control to turn down a drink should also be the same God that gives you self-control to say 2 plates are enough. Oh my God. It's all the truth. Y'all just like telling the truth to the people that you like. I tell the truth to everybody. The same spirit, the same self-control. So when you operating in your spiritual big self, you got self-control, which means you don't let folks get the best of you. Oh my God. Oh no. Folks don't make you respond to them. Folks don't make you cuss them out. Folks don't make you show your tail. Folks don't make you act out of character. No. You realize that all of those things are choices. You ready? Y'all ain't gonna like this. When you have self-control, you're not triggered. Hey, hey, hey. For all of you that always talk about being triggered, you're living in your small self. I hate to break the news to you. Because I know no other coach, counselor, therapist has explained this way. Because they've told you, yes, your uncle triggered you, your mom triggered you, your coworkers triggered you, your husband triggered you. Trigger, 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 trigger. Lie, 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 lie. People don't trigger us. We make the decision to give them the gun and do what? Pull the trigger. And for all of you always walking around talking about what triggers you, you're being small. Just do your hand like this. I like that. Great question. One of my awesome moderators tip. I appreciate you. Even if you recognize the trigger yet don't react, recognizing that your emotions are about to respond because all recognizing a trigger is recognizing the rising up of your emotions, your feelings, your personality. It's the recognition that something's coming. So recognizing that your triggers are about to move is one thing. Allowing them to manifest, you've lost self-control. You have absolutely lost self-control. And I know this culture, there's going to be somebody in the corner on this live saying this guy's nuts. He got this crazy hat on. He don't believe in triggers. This is crazy. Good luck with you and your triggers for the rest of your life. My clients don't use the word trigger around me. And when they do, they walk real light. I had a client today that was getting ready to use the word, said, hold on, doc, I want to explain this because I can't think of another word, but this is the only word that I can use to explain it. But I know we don't use that word. She said, I was triggered. I said, you doggone right. We didn't work through that. That's why my clients get results fast. We're not about to sit up here in this space of lacking self-control and thinking we being big. No, if you easily triggered, you're not big, you're small. If you allow people to trigger you so easily, you're not big, you're small. If you allow people to trigger you, period, you ain't big, you small. And you got some growing to do. And guess what? We all been small before. I'm not criticizing you. I'm not criticizing you because you small. I'm being honest with you. What your counselor, your therapist, your coach ain't being. What your mom and daddy ain't being. I'm being honest with you. I ain't criticizing you, but I'm telling you, you're being small. When this stuff leading your life, you over here in the small field. Kitty fries. Kids meal. Junior Whopper. Oh my God. Is this making sense? Let me give you something else to add to that side. This one's big. Did a video about this today. I don't know how well it did because I didn't even have time to check my feed a lot today. Let me give you another. I gave you 3 representatives of what happens when you're in the small self: personality, emotions, feelings, because they're volatile. When you're in the big self, you're in the divine, faith, self-control. This third one, unconditional love. Unconditional love. You want to know when you're operating in your big self? Watch this. Let me explain a concept to y'all that's going to sound foreign in today's time. You're going to know you're operating in your big self when you can love people and then respect people regardless. This will sound so foreign to most of you. Most of you tit for tat people. Most of you, if they do something to me, I got to get them back stuff people. This is going to sound so crazy. You might as well just log off. Unconditional love is the highest form and purest form of love. And it ain't what you think. It's loving people regardless of who they are and what they desire. It's loving people regardless of if you are the beneficiary of it or not. Loving people unconditionally is the epitome of letting go. And this is why I know y'all ain't living over here. You know why? Because when people want to leave you, what do? You grab them like this and you choke them. I'm not going to let you go. You my first, my last, my everything. You want to leave? You ain't leaving me. And you do this and you squeeze. And all you do to the person you are grabbing like this is choking them out. You're pushing them further by choking them like this. When you need to start holding people like this. See that? 2 fingers, not a whole hand. Start holding people with 2 fingers. You know why? Because if they decide to go, they free. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I've been there. When you hold people like this, you put a chokehold on them. When you hold them like this and let them go, it hurts you, but it frees you too. Because all that energy you were spending holding them, you can now put back into who? And this is why some of you are drained right now, because all of your energy is going towards somebody you trying to hold that don't want to hold you. Oh my God. Even people I love, I don't grip them like this. Their interests might change. I know what it's like for people's interests to change, their desires to change. And you hold them like this, you make them feel like they're being held hostage. No. No. Even when you love people hard, hold them like this. Baby, I love you and I got you firm. I mean, I got you. But watch this. I got more fingers focused on me than I have fingers focused on you. I don't even think y'all catching this part of the revelation. See, the other reason why you hold people like this is because it teaches you the value of self-love. Self-love only requires that you hold yourself a little bit more. Family too. Because some of y'all gonna get your feelings hurt next week. You showing up at Thanksgiving. You trying to be the bigger person. They still acting like their little self and their feelings and their emotions and little and all of that stuff. And you're going to have a proclivity to want to grab them like this because you want to belong. No, baby. Hold them like this. Give them 2 of your fingers, but keep 3 for you. Oh, my God. Some of y'all need to write that down. Give them 2 of your fingers, keep 3 for you. And there's a message in that. That message is called self-love. That the extent to which you give yourself more love than you give others is the extent to which you will have proper boundaries in your life. You will live your life with a greater set of expectations. Give them 2 of your fingers, keep 3 for you. That's a word. Is it making sense? Y'all supporting the show? People struggle with this. And they struggle because this is a hard message. Let's go further. For many of you, your life is out of control because if I'm being honest with you, your little self is out of control. And let me give you some signs, more signs. I want to let's just put under feelings. I want you to draw another line, small line, and just write the word signs. You know, just write the word signs under the small self side. Write the word signs. And I want to give you a couple of signs that you're probably operating in your little self. As if you ain't heard enough tonight. I'm going to beat this in your head until you accept it. And again, I want to be clear here. There are no exceptions. Let me give you some signs that you're living in your small self. I can list them for days. Poor boundaries. Poor boundaries, for sure, is a sign you're living in your small self. You're allowing people to dictate the terms regarding your life and how they're going to treat you and handle you. And to tell one of my dearest clients today, I don't care if it is your mom and daddy. Your mom and daddy don't get the right to disrespect you as a grown woman. No, Doc, that ain't what the Bible say. Really? Find it. Find where the Bible says that a parent has a right to disrespect their child. I'll tell you what it does say. It says parents shouldn't provoke their children to wrath. And if that applies to little kids, it sure as heck applies to adults. Thank you so much, Yosan, for the support. I just saw that flash up. Thank you so much. It sure as heck applies to adults. And some of y'all gonna let your family members talk to you like dogs next week. You know why? Because they family. Some of you gonna let your family members treat you like crap Thursday, because they family. And let me tell you something. When you let them do it, you're living in your small self. Small fries, Junior Whopper, Mini Cinnabon, Mini Cooper. I don't care if it's your mama. Everybody deserves boundaries. And good parents will respect those boundaries. I love my folks. I love my folks. I want to say this publicly. And I don't have to because they know. Man, I love my folks because I will say this about my folks. There's so much I can say about them. Of the 3 kids that they have, my brother and sister get a chance to be around them way more than I am because of my work. All I do is work. That's literally all I do. But let me tell you something. My mom and dad have never made me feel small for pursuing my purpose and passion. Guilt tripped me, trying to do any of that stuff because I'm always working. And some of y'all gonna get guilt tripped Thursday for changing, for growing up, for not being the same person that you used to be. You're gonna be guilt tripped by your parents. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna allow them to do it. And when you allow them to do it, you're being midget league. You're being little league, midget league. That's what you're being. Family ain't no exception when it comes to boundaries. Let me give you another sign that you operate in your small self. This one gonna hurt some of y'all's feelings. We talked about it earlier. Let me just write it down. The need to understand or understanding. We're going to talk about how to handle it. We're going to get to it. The need to understand. We talked about that earlier. Here's another sign that you're living in your small self. What I call ignoring your role. Another sign that you're operating in a small self, when you ignore your role. What does that mean? When you quick to be able to point out what everybody else did in the situation, but you slow to point out your part in it. You know, it's so funny to me. The amount of clients that I've had to just stop right in the middle of their tracks who come on my calls and just wear their partner out. My partner ain't doing this. My mom ain't doing this. They ain't doing this. And I just stop and say, okay, I hear, but do you own any parts of this at all? Do you own any parts of this at all? Because I'm going to tell you something. If you're one of those people that cannot, my live has been flagged for hate speech and hateful behaviors. Hey, TikTok, my live has been flagged for hate speech and hateful behavior. It was probably a dude I just stared at. Go figure. See what I mean? Sensitive folks, small self. Y'all don't like this truth. I get it. I would flag me too if I was midget fries. Oh my God. People who operate in the small self are people who ignore their role in their dysfunction. That's a big one. So when y'all decide to get frustrated Thursday with family members who ain't apologized after 10 years and you still walking around waiting on them to apologize, get over it. No, I'm serious. Get over it. Just get over it. Stop waiting on an apology that you'll never receive because they're not positioned to accept a truth that they never want to receive. You can't get the apology you deserve because they won't accept the truth that they need to receive. Just get out this little self and just come over here. It's peaceful over here. Self-control is peaceful in self-control. It's peaceful when you're operating in faith. It's peaceful when you operate in unconditional love. Y'all stop waiting on apologies. You're going to probably die before you receive. With family members and friends who won't admit their role in their dysfunction. Just stop. Live over here. It's peace over here. To that end, let me say this while we're on it. When it comes to being in that big self, it is very possible for you to forgive and to set a boundary at the same time. Somebody asked earlier, then how do we fix it? It's simple. When people offend you and they don't want to own their role in it, I don't care if it's your mom or your daddy, your pastor, I don't care who it is. If people offend you and they don't want to admit their role in it, you got to learn how to forgive them and set a boundary at the same time. Now, I didn't say you had to forget. Forgiving and forgetting ain't spiritual. And I hope you have not been taught that as a spiritual principle. Forgiving and forgetting is not a spiritual principle. Forgiving is. Forgetting ain't. Only thing you should be forgetting are the things that are behind you. Some of you are going to say, well, then, Doc, that's what they did to you. Interesting. If somebody breaks in your house when you ain't there and you leave, come back, you notice somebody's broken into the door. Nothing was taken. Are you going to not put an alarm in your house or a fence around your house? No, you're going to do something. You're going to put a safeguard. Why? Not because they didn't take nothing. You're going to put a safeguard. Why? Just in case they decide to violate you again. So I don't understand why we don't think we can forgive people, but also put a fence around them. Well, I can see you. You're invited to be around. It's no problem. Hey, no big deal. But at the same token, there's some levels of access you might not have access to because of the violation that you committed. And just because I'm not giving you the same access, don't mean I have a personal problem with you. It just means you did not do well with the access you had. It's called a boundary. And you can forgive and set boundaries at the same time. I had to tell a client today, and I meant this, and some of y'all need to hear this, because some of y'all thinking you're gonna get an apology this week because everybody gonna be sitting around eating turkey and talking. You thinking somebody's gonna finally be the bigger person and apologize and give you what they owe you. Let me tell you something. The holidays don't change people. If they were dysfunctional in March, they're gonna be dysfunctional in November and December. Oh my God. I don't care if they even fake it for 2 hours while y'all eating. If they were dysfunctional in March, they'll be dysfunctional in November and December. And your job is to show up as your big self. Look, Nika said, Doc, I was dating a man who was 13 years older than me. And I was dating a man who was 13 years older than me, and he got mad I wouldn't give him $1,500. I'm telling you, it's some wild stuff out here. But listen, y'all, I'm serious. People use the holidays as a way of masking dysfunction. Yeah, it's the holidays. We ought to just accept me for who I am. We just here to disrupt. It is the holidays. It is. But turkey ain't gonna give you the right to violate my boundaries. Now, y'all not gonna like my my 5 things Monday because I did a little twist. I've already recorded it. I did a little twist on Monday's 5 things because I said, you know what? Instead of talking about 5 things I learned last week, Monday I'm giving you 5 tips that'll help you have a peaceful holiday season, and some of them gonna shock you. It's wait till you see that video Monday morning. 5 tips to help you have a successful, peaceful holiday season. And one of them is being okay setting boundaries. Because the holidays don't change people. If they was nasty in March, they'll be nasty in November and December. If they was rude in March, they'll be rude in November and December. Your job is not to show up small like them. Your job is to show up big. As the biggest, best version of yourself. So how do we do it? How do we get out of this small self? I'll give you this and I'm wrapping up. Hey, moderators, do me a favor, post in the chat the links to the book, 5 Areas of Healing, as well as the link, if you can, to the ebook that was just released today, y'all. Woo! Ebook value system. Post in there, you support the show. Let me give you some ways you can shift out of this small self to the big self. Is this making sense tonight? Is this making sense? I want you on the big self side to write the words, how to shift. How to shift. This is going to be your guide right here for the holidays and moving forward. I need a board, Doc. I know it. I do need a board. I'm gonna ramp this up. I just like doing it old school. I like old school writing. I just like it. It's just old school lectures. I do PowerPoints from time to time, but I'm an old school kind of presenter that way. But you're right. I do need one, Latoya. I'll work on that. Good. Let me give you some ways you can shift from the small self to the big self. Number one, I'm going to number these. I wish y'all could see my notes. My stuff is all over the place. I've really been just all kinds of crazy. Can you get color paper then? The glare is killer for seasoned eyes. I apologize. Yes, I can do that. Right. Ways to shift to the big self. Let me give you some ways. Number one, letting go. I can tell you now, in 2025, I'm going to be spending a lot of time talking about letting go. My next book will very likely be on letting go. You want to shift from your small self to your big self? Learn how to let go. We learned something last week, y'all, didn't we? With the triangle of trust. Y'all remember? Do I have the paper? Did we not learn last week how to let go? Y'all remember that? Some of you need to screenshot this. You weren't here last week. You need to screenshot this. We learned how to let go last week. And when you learn how to let go, you all of a sudden come out of this volatile personality drama, emotions, feelings, being led by that stuff. And you just like, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. You shift into faith. You shift away from fear into faith. You take your grip off of things and relinquish control. And when you do that, the door opens up to trust and you're able to let go. Wasn't that powerful last week? Are y'all supporting the show? That's how that works. So number one, I'm not going to rehash that. We talked about that. Letting go. I'll give you another way to shift. Master compartmentalization. Master compartmentalization. Y'all support the show. If this is helping you, support the show. You get this weekly. I want you to support. I really appreciate your support. Your support allows me to do what I'm able to do. Master compartmentalization. What does that mean? Put stuff in their proper places. Have I given y'all the analogy about the paper plates before? I've given y'all so many analogies. I don't think I've given y'all that one before. It's perfect timing. It's perfect timing. For those of you that haven't heard it, it's simple. Some of y'all Thursday going to get those little compartmentalized plates that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets on it. It's a shame. I know how many pockets they got. That's got 5 pockets on it. And you are going to take that 5 pocket plate and you're going to put 15 things on it. And when you put 15 things in 5 pockets, your plate's going to run over. Your plate is your brain. And your brain can only take but so much. For some of you, your brain has 5 pockets. For some of you who can multitask well and still be in the present and regulate your emotions and allow your thoughts to lead the way, for some of you, you have 15 pockets. We're all given a different amount of pockets. But when you have 5 pockets on your plate and you try to put 20 things on your plate, you are not compartmentalizing. And you will feel things like overwhelmed, stressed out, depressed, angry, mad, bitter, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Brandy. That's not how it works. As much as you're tempted Thursday to go through that line and see 12 things in that line you want to put on that plate, I want to challenge you to put one thing in one plate at a time. Because ultimately, it's going to help you to digest your food a lot better. You're going to digest problems in your life a lot better when you master compartmentalizing. Yep, this has come my way. I wasn't expecting it, but let me look at my plate and see if I'm going to deal with this right now. Nope, plate's already full. I'm going to just let that stay where it is. I'm going to address these things on my plate, and then I'll come back to that when it's time. There's freedom in that. There's freedom in that. No, some of y'all going to go through the plate, through the line Thursday, and you going to put everything on that plate that you can. You going to stack the plate. You going to have the turnip green juice over in the meatloaf and the macaroni and cheese juice over in the potato salad. You're going to have stuff all over the place and going to be wondering why you are mentally and emotionally constipated. Oh my God. Some of you are suffering from mental and emotional, thank you, Dana, mental and emotional constipation because you haven't not learned how to put things in their proper perspective. Mental and emotional constipation is real. You know why? You know what mental and emotional constipation looks like? It looks like thoughts and emotions being stuck that you can't let go. Did y'all hear what I said? Mental and emotional constipation looks like thoughts and emotions being stuck that you cannot let go. Doc, I can't let go of these thoughts. I can't let go of these feelings. I just can't do da. You're constipated. So some of you are going to probably ask naturally, okay, so then how do I get unconstipated? Y'all want to get gross for a second? Y'all want to get gross for a second? Have you been constipated in real life? If you were constipated in real life, it was likely a sign of what? You probably did not have enough water. I'm no medical doctor. I'm an educational doctor. Real PhD, by the way. Accredited institution, Aggie Pride. If you've been constipated in real life, how did you get unconstipated? I don't even know if that's a word. Deconstipated. You probably didn't have water. I like that. You probably didn't have fiber. And you probably did not have enough movement. Because when you're not getting enough water, you're not getting enough fiber, and you're sitting still. This is about to blow y'all away. When you're not getting enough water, you're not getting enough fiber, and you're sitting still, then everything you put in you is going to get stuck in you. Which means if you constipated mentally and emotionally, maybe you need to adjust what you consume, and you need to adjust how you move. Oh my God. Y'all, that wasn't even in my notes. It's a God-given gift. He gave it to me. Adjust what you consume, adjust how you move. Maybe you constipated mentally and emotionally because you're consuming the wrong stuff. You're consuming the wrong people. Your attention is in the wrong places. Your focus is in the wrong positions. Y'all, this wasn't even my notes. God did that, as he always does. You constipated? You didn't get enough water and fiber and movement? Why don't you change what you consume and how you move? Doc, what is how you move? What that got to do with how you behave, how you act? Get out of the small fries world and come over here to supersize. Stop being a little fry. And start focusing on the right stuff, the right people, the right connections, the right things. You worried about that ex that left 4 years ago and your credit bad. You need to be focused on the right things. You worried about that ex that want to leave, or that person that want to leave, and you're not in the physical condition that you want to be in. You focus on the wrong thing. You worried about who don't want to be in your life. You don't have enough in savings. You focus on the wrong thing. So when we constipated mentally and emotionally, when you're constipated mentally and emotionally, you have to adjust what you consume and adjust how you move. I like that. Sharon Martinez, thank you, Miss Martinez, on Facebook said, just shift and start living in the present moment. Absolutely. Here's another way you can shift. Third and final way, and I'm done. Y'all download the ebook. Don't forget. I think some of you are moving on it. You're gonna love it, by the way. It's really simple, very inexpensive, and it's very effective. Third way, y'all, you can shift from the small you to the big you is to lean on the power in you. It's a mouthful. Lean on the power in you. Let me tell you why this is important. Lean on the power in you. You're only going to be able to do number 3 through the divine. There are some things, there are some battles that your little hands can't handle. No, I'm a fake one. Yes, I've got a real PhD. I know there's a lot of fake doctors out here. I'm the real deal. You can see my credentials online. Y'all, some people are out here trying to fight these battles that are bigger than their little hands. There are going to be some battles you fight that are going to be greater than your hands, that are going to require a power that's greater than you. Now watch this. I never had a big brother. I'm the oldest of 3. I've been the big brother all my life, and I love it. I have incredible siblings. Excuse me, I got to blow my nose. Y'all just bear with me. I have incredible siblings, both blood siblings, as well as siblings that have been, adopted through, marriage, things like that. I've always been the big brother. The beautiful thing about having a big brother or a big sister is that when you come against things that are too big for you, you know you can run to something that's greater than you. Y'all, some of us need to spend more time or less time trying to solve our own problems and more time trying to develop a spiritual life so that we can tap into a spiritual us through prayer and meditation and exercise of our faith to be able to solve some problems that we can't handle on our own. There are some battles you will never be able to fix. And it is the extent to which you are able to embrace. It is the extent to which you are able to embrace and be honest about what you can handle and what you cannot that shifts you from this small you to this big you. You're so busy reading all of this other stuff, you need to get in the Word. If you're a Christian, get in the Quran. If you're Muslim, whatever it is you believe, go get in it. You need to get in the Word. You need to get in the Word. Now, I know my Christians don't like that. Doc, there ain't no such things. I have a universal ministry. Fortunately, I've been called to heal the world, not just the people you like. But even when we make phrases like letting go and letting God, everybody says that. Let go and let God. That's a spiritual principle. You can't do that without no spiritual foundation. What's up, Wasabi? Always respect. I love my clients as Muslim, atheist, agnostic, you name it. I've been called to heal the world. Healing is the universal language of humanity. Y'all ain't got to like it. I don't care. When you make the phrase let go and let God, you're talking about a spiritual matter. And you can't let go and let God if you ain't got no power inside of you. Hey, y'all, ever seen an Oreo cookie? This ain't in my notes either. I can't turn it off. I cannot turn it off. God did this. I can't turn it off. You ever seen an Oreo cookie? I'm sure you have. An Oreo cookie is nothing but 2 chocolate cookies with what in the middle? With cream. This is going to be simple but profound. If you remove the cream from the cookie, you have nothing but 2 dark chocolate cookies. Or if you've got the white Oreo, the what do you call them? I think they're the white Oreo cookies, or they're not the chocolate ones, but the vanilla Oreo cookies, whatever. You have 2 vanilla cookies. The cream, the filling, is what makes it an Oreo. Watch this. If you don't have something spiritual that's filling you, you're just a basic cookie. There ain't nothing special about Oreo cookies without filling. It's taking y'all a while to get this. I see some churches now. It's taking y'all a while. You know what? When you don't have a spiritual foundation, you average. Oh my God. You know why? You know what makes you average? What makes you average is that when you face battles in your life you can't handle, you ain't got no feeling you can lean on. Oh my God. Y'all go get that to your pastor for Sunday. When you ain't got nothing holding you together, you average like everybody else. I like that, DB. Jesus spoke in metaphors all the time. It ain't accidental. I use analogies because he made the most complex things simple. And some of y'all ain't got nothing to lean on because you ain't got nothing inside of you. But when you get something inside of you, watch this. And you ain't going to take no Oreo cookie and just pull it apart. If you do, them Oreo cookies stale. Oh my God. The only Oreo cookies you just pulling apart like this are the stale ones. The fresh ones, you got to do what? You got to take the cookies and twist them. You got to separate the cookies from the filling, and you got to work to do it. Watch this. Because when the filling has been connected to the cookie, it's hard to pull it apart. Some of us just can't turn this off because there's a power working inside of us that's greater than us. So even when things go bad, we can't separate who we are from what's inside of us. I'm logging off. I think that was too much. That was too much. Which means even if you try to pull me apart, you're going to have to work to do it. I can't separate who I am from the power that lives inside of me. And this is why you need a spiritual foundation if you're going to do this work well. You got to have something inside of you that holds you together when life starts falling apart. And this is why some of you are cracking at the seams, because you ain't got nothing keeping the cookie together. You have no filling. You're just two bland cookies. It's just popping each other like this. But some of us, when life gets hard, when things get rough, when things get difficult, when things get complicated, when things get unbearable, when things we don't understand, when things get hard, when people flake, relationships fail, marriages fall apart, blah, 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 there's something greater inside of us than what's on the outside of us. And that's called a feeling. Let me leave that alone. This make any sense tonight? Y'all got your diagram? See, I don't even want to go there, Shonda, but Shonda, she tempted me and she's tempted me in TikTok. She said they got Oreos that are double stuffed. Some of y'all got a little bit of filling. You got single fit. Some of us we got it double. We're not walking around here with a little dose of this stuff. We have poured into ourselves spiritually because we recognize it requires a power that is greater than us. Some of these things we deal with in life, that divorce from that 15-year marriage that had you so emotionally entangled, some days it's going to require a power that is greater than what you understand. And if you ain't got no feeling, you're going to crack at the seams. You will have nothing that can keep you together. And watch this. Just because you go to church don't mean you got feeling. Oh my God. There's a whole lot of dry cookies sitting in church. There's a whole lot of dry cookies sitting in the temple. There's a whole lot of dry cookies sitting in the mosque. There's a whole lot of dry cookies sitting wherever they are. Greater is he that lives right here. Let me leave y'all alone. Now, them double Oreo cookies, let me be real clear. For those of you that got a little bit more, they don't cost the same. I'm trying to leave this alone. Them double Oreo cookies, they don't cost the same. You get them regular Oreos, you might pay about $5, $6. You get them double, you're going to pay about $9 or $10, depending on where you live. Which means it costs more to have more. To whom much is given, much more is required. If you want great power spiritually, you're going to have to pay for it. Which means you're going to have to turn some people down that you want to turn up. You're going to have to disconnect from some people that ain't doing nothing but bringing you drama in your life. You're going to have to move on from some situations that have you mentally and emotionally drained. You're going to have to make some hard decisions that go against how you feel. Y'all ain't supported this show yet. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna just go on and just log off. This makes sense tonight. This makes sense at all? Hmm? How did you know my life? I appreciate you, Leah. This makes sense. Some of us are triple stuff Oreo. We paying major. Listen, Doc, and I'm grateful for y'all. Listen, they're putting up, the moderators are putting up things that are available. The books are available. The new book, 5 Years of Healing, came out yesterday, is available. My new ebook just launched tonight. The Value System is available. They've got that link up. You can see the link in my profile bio. My books for new clients open up next Wednesday, the 27th at noon Eastern Standard Time. Set your alarm because y'all know the slots move fast. Set your alarm. Listen, y'all, some of you are so kind to me. Thank you, JCS. Some of you are so kind to me and so gracious to me about my work, and you're so complimentary. But can I just tell y'all a secret? And one day you might learn about my personal story. Thank you, Misha. You might learn about my personal story, but can I just tell y'all a secret? Doc has had to go through hell to be where he is. If you don't want to be misunderstood, stay where you at. If you don't want to make decisions that people don't understand and you get criticized for and demonized, stay where you at. Doc, where'd you get all this wisdom from? Hell. I had to go to hell to get it and live to testify about it. That's how I got it. And who gave it to me? God did. Unapologetically. I have friends that are atheists, Muslims, agnostic, the whole nine. I'm unapologetic of where mine came from. But guess what? I had to go to hell to get it. And some days people try to keep me there. You know why? Because I operate in my purpose that is so against the grain that people are either admire it or they despise it. So I'm just telling you, this stuff didn't just fall in my lap. The strength that you have after the divorce you went through, the strength that you have after your loved one passed, the strength that you have to start the business when you failed 3 other businesses, don't just fall in your lap. That comes through hell. That comes through challenges. That comes through try. This wisdom and strength comes through challenges. And when you recognize that that's the source, you don't let people take your joy. You don't care if people don't understand you. You don't care what people have to say behind your back because most of them don't have the guts to say it to your face. You just operate in your purpose and let the fruit do what it does. Y'all, my tree ain't bare. I got fruit all over. I got so much fruit falling off my tree that I ain't got time to pick it up. That's why some of y'all on the waiting list. When you true to your purpose and you went through hell to have a calling, you remember the feeling that's inside the cookie. So when people try to twist you apart, there's something inside of you that's keeping you together. That's the last word I want you to write down, and I'm going to let y'all go. I want you to put this in all capital letters, and I need as many people that this is making sense to. I don't care what you believe. I want as many people that this is making sense to show some unity and type this now. There is something inside of me holding me together. When stuff get hard next week, put it in the comments. When stuff gets hard on Thanksgiving around your family, I need you to tell yourself that. When you have challenges on your job, I need you to tell yourself that. When you want to have a mental breakdown and completely spaz out, you should tell yourself that. I ain't no dry Oreo. There's something inside of me that's holding me together. See, there's power in unity. Look at the comments. There's power in this. This is going to get hard. And understand, to whom much is given, much is required. If you got a great call on your life, this is why I have a heart for trailblazers. My third book, 7 Traits of a Trailblazer. One of my favorite books that I've written. I have a heart for trailblazers. You know why? Because when you got a unique calling on your life, you got to go through a unique hell. A unique calling requires a unique hell. Doc, where you get the analogies from? How did they just fall out the sky like that? What kind of training you go through? It ain't no training for this. I went through hell to get it. That's how I got it. Hell. And when you have a unique purpose on your life, you have to go through a unique hell. A unique purpose requires a unique hell. This is for all of you that are going through situations right now that people wouldn't believe you if they were going through it themselves. That's because your unique purpose requires a unique hell. And I like that, Ebony. It can be so unique that it doesn't even feel real. Have you ever gone through something in your life that was so challenging that you was pinching yourself and asking yourself, is this real or am I in a movie? Of all the people in the world, is this really happening to me? It's called a unique hell. And a unique hell will create a unique purpose. This is why I don't want to hear from nobody that ain't been through nothing. I ain't saying you got to be perfect. Doc not perfect. But let me tell you something. Doc been through some things. Doc's made some decisions that he was guided to make that have turned out brilliant, and watch the same people who clap for him behind closed doors talk about him and not support him. Completely walk away and watch him as if he gonna die and fall out and fail. It's good. Unique hells create unique purposes. All right, I'm done. If you have not supported the show, yeah, that is a book. That's a whole book. and I didn't talk about it in the 7 traits of a trailblazer. I think I got a copy here. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't talk about it in the 7 traits of a trailblazer, but I talk about how your unique calling causes you to have to experience things a little bit differently. Causes you to have to be misunderstood by people who once supported you. I just laugh. There are people that used to support me, that I used to be cool with, that I've actually reached out to, try to engage with. They acted like they didn't know who I was. Real brand new. You know why? Because I made the decision and allowed the feeling inside of me to lead me down a path that was least traveled. And every step I've taken has worked out for me. This is why you can't be led by people. You got to learn how to be led by the feeling that's inside of you. And if you ain't got no feeling, you're going to get real distracted by people not understanding you. You're going to feel some kind of way when folk don't clap for you. You're going to feel some kind of way. No. Praying for you. Wow, Marlene, death of my husband at 49 years old on New Year's Eve. But God, I'm praying for you, Marlene. In fact, Marlene Fuller, do me a favor. Marlene Fuller, do me a favor. I want you to email me at info@zebthethird.com. Moderators, please put up my email address. Marlene Fuller, email me at info@zebthethird.com. And if you would allow me to, I would love to do a session with you before the end of the year. Okay? On me.
Don't worry about the cost. 55 minutes with me. You email me, Miss Fuller, and I would love to do a session for you. You're going to be celebrating the anniversary of your husband's death at a young age of 49 on New Year's Eve. And I want to do a session with you, if that's okay. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. I won't be offended by that. My work's not for everybody. Okay? Because you can't hear something like this tonight without doing what? Sowing a seed. I'm not gonna bother y'all. Let me just get off this live. Doc, you got people all around the world screaming church and all this stuff. Y'all have no idea how I get criticized for doing this work effectively. I love y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. I'm absolutely praying for you. Again, a couple of reminders really quickly. The book, yeah, because yeah. 5 Areas of Healing came out yesterday. Check it out. Eating your Oreos. I wish I had some Oreos, Naomi. Check out the links in my bio for all of these things. 5 Areas of Healing. Book came out yesterday. Pre-orders. They're moving. They'll be lucky if they're still available by Wednesday. My new ebook came out tonight, The Value System. The link's in my profile bio. Check that out. I still have workshops on grief and letting go, as well as small group sessions in December. I think I have 2 sessions left in December. You have not signed up for those. Sign-ups have been slow, so there are plenty of seats there. And thank you so much, Brianna. I appreciate you. Just happened to see that come through. There's something else I need to mention. Oh, Facebook community. 2 things. Facebook community. Join the Facebook community right away. That's really growing, y'all. We are above 1,000 people in that community. Big ups again to Coach Sean Walker, is really helping me work in that space. Let's get that community up, because I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be a big shift in my work. I'm going to really be shifting more to more programs, series, be doing a lot of things behind the scene and Patreon and places like that, because it's just going to allow me to do what I'm doing tonight on a regular basis and impact more people. The page name is called Inspire Nation. Inspire Nation, okay? If you go to Facebook, thank you so much, Dedra. If you go to Facebook and type Inspire Nation on Facebook in the search bar, it'll come up, and join that community, because that's going to get you funneled through the steps that you need to go to just really continue on this healing journey and get the resources that you need. Plus, we're building an awesome community. They're having an amazing time, great conversation and prompts and things like that. So join that. Make sure you do that. And consider Patreon. Patreon, IG subscribe, but Patreon is really going to be the landing space, the biggest landing space, where right now I'm meeting with subscribers every single Monday, but that's going to be ramped up. We're going to start some series there in January. I've got some surprises up my sleeve for them, and it's going to be tremendous. But that allows me, y'all, if I'm just being frank, for a very low cost, it allows me to just engage more people at one at a time, versus you all having to wait 6 months to get on my calendar. That's why the wait is there. I can't see but so many people, y'all, on a daily basis. All right. And so I appreciate you. And thank you, Jody, for adding. Can't wait to see you there. And I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. It's been a long night and a long week. I'm hoping it's gonna be a relaxing weekend. This is gonna be a great relaxing weekend for me. Well deserved. I've earned a couple of days off, and I'm excited about it. Love y'all. Praying for you, rooting for you. Have a tremendous evening, and we'll see you soon. Peace and blessings. Bye, y'all.